Robins TV, the excitement builds here as it's the FA Trophy second round. Salisbury, the visitors today, and the Robins have got to be up for this one. Been joined by Peter, who's a regular on Robins TV. How you doing, Pete? Happy New Year to you.
And yourself as well, James. Thanks again.
No problem, no problem. What are you expecting today? It looks like on paper quite an evenly matched game.
Absolutely. I think, it's like everything. You can only beat what's in front of you. That's the first thing. Secondly, okay, we've had a little bit of a dip in form, but the cup game's 90 minutes. It's all about who turns up and who performs, and probably like every sort of game really at this level, first 10 or 15 minutes will probably be crucial for both teams.
Yeah, it has been a little bit of a winter of discontent, especially in the league, 4 defeats in a row. Can you put your finger on why things haven't been going our way at the moment?
Can't quite really do it, to be honest. It's like everything. You don't become a bad team overnight because it's the same crop of players that we've got, that we've sort of had all through the season. Okay, we've had 1 or 2 changes, which might have slightly unbalanced the team.
Yeah, well, Michael Dixon's leading the line today. Harry Ottaway's cup-tied. Aloma the defender's cup-tied as well. So some of the more familiar faces are coming back into the fold. Think we can hit the back of the net?
As we say, 2 teams at roughly the same sort of level. Probably even, although obviously they've got a few more points than what we have in their particular league. But as I say, it's a cup game. It's a totally different environment.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, Peter, as always. Enjoy the game and we'll catch up with you soon.
No problem.
I've been joined by a Salisbury fan and part of the Supporters Association, Ray. Ray, thanks for joining us. How was the journey down, firstly?
Very, very good. Very good indeed. No traffic, nice coach, lots full coaches, lots of atmosphere. Really good.
Excellent. Well, let's hope that's the only good news that you have today. But no, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome here. How do you see it going today? On paper, I think it looks like a very close contest between 2 clubs that are.
You're probably right. Yeah, I think it is a close one. I wouldn't call it one way or the other. No, I wouldn't call it. I think we're not used to 3G pitches. We've got lots of injuries, but then that could be an excuse.
But you're coming into this game in good form, though. You're unbeaten in 10 matches, I believe. And who should Carshalton fans be especially aware of today out there?
I would say probably Tom Whelan, possibly. Yeah, he's probably the danger man. But they're all equal. I wouldn't say anyone's better than the other one, because I wouldn't give too much away anyway.
And would you mind just giving us a little bit of history about the club? Because as I understand it, it was a phoenix that happened about 3 or 4 years ago. And Steve Claridge was part of the team that came on board to rescue the club, is that right?
The previous club went into administration. We had some guy come along and buy it for £1. And then there was a lot of difficulties after that, getting it back together. Luckily, we've got some very, very good directors now. And we've come up very well. We've picked up everything. We're starting to get good players in, starting to play good football. The club as a whole has become more involved in the community and stuff like that.
So good things on and off the pitch at the moment.
Yes, very, very good indeed. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Ray. Really appreciate it, and enjoy your afternoon at Carshalton Avenue.
Thank you.
Been joined by Russell. Russell, how are you feeling about this one today, mate?
Bit nervous, but we're at home. We can play at home on a nice pitch, which is nice to see. But when we play on grass, it might be a bit iffy, but we won't let the cat out the bag. But hopefully, whoever turns up on the day will win. Fingers crossed. I've got my dad's lucky scarf on. I've worn it for a few games, and majority of the times we always win. And I'm a long-distance traveller because I come all the way from Jingham in Kent to come and watch Carshalton home and away when I can without work commitments. But it all depends. It's going to be an interesting game. But whoever wins on the day, good luck.
Cut this guy open and he bleeds red, let me tell you. Russell, can you put your finger on why our away form's been so bad recently? 4 defeats across December. It's not for good reading, is it?
No, it's not. When we seem to see a team playing down the bottom, below us in the league, we don't seem to turn up. When we play teams up the top, we seem to play better. I don't know what it is, but it's a mental blockage somewhere. Yeah. Same like the fans. We get frustrated when we don't play well. But I don't know, something about grass, I think it is.
Robins TV in a tunnel area here at Carshalton Avenue after the 4-1 victory for Carshalton against Salisbury in the FA Trophy today. I've been joined by Salisbury manager Steve Claridge, who a lot of football fans might recognise. Steve, thank you very much for joining us. Must be a disappointing result, obviously, but how proud are you of the boys' efforts today?
Yeah, it's a little bit after the Lord Mayor's show, actually, because we played very well Tuesday, and they were fine. They played well against us. I think there are probably 1 or 2 factors that went against. Obviously, we've got 4 centre-halves and we didn't have a centre-half for the second half at all. So we're struggling a little bit, and there's 4 of our players who can't play on the all-weather, so on that, that 4G. So it was always going to be difficult, and in the end, they play it very well, actually, I've got to say. They play with the wind, they know exactly what to do on it. They're well versed, and we just couldn't deal with it. And in the end, it could have been, a few more than 4-1, but No, we'll regroup. We've had 2 big games. We went to Merthyr, and that was a huge game for us to win, and obviously Braintree. But we looked a little bit leggy, a little bit one-paced, and Carshalton were very good today. So no problems, no arguments with that result.
What was the game plan going in today, and did it include going ahead so early?
Well, the game plan was basically to obviously just to manage the game and try and stay in the game and. But obviously we had 3 fitness tests before the game, and I had to make a decision whether I played people who were fit who can't play on the 4G or people who weren't fit who could play on the 4G. Right. And as it was, I went for the people who weren't fit but can play on the 4G, because the last time that the 3 lads that didn't play today played, they're out for 6 weeks. So it's difficult. It's just that balance between, which way do you go? And in the end, obviously Elliot had to come off. Matt wasn't really fit, but it's the risk that you have to take, and that's how it is. And obviously, if I'd had 1 or 2 others that I could have put on, then I would have, but I didn't, and that's how we finished up playing the way we did. Yeah,
and obviously the loss of the 2 centre-backs either side of half-time wouldn't have helped the cause. You guys had to come out in the second half and essentially go for it. How did you kind of reshuffle the pack?
Well, we just went 3 at the back and went 2 up front, simply because we just wanted to try and put some pressure on the ball, but we never got the ball in advanced areas, we never got hold of it. We were a million miles away from where we were the other night, and a million miles away from the previous Saturday. So I think it's a little bit of us, and obviously, I don't want to take any credit away from Carshalton because they play very well. So good luck to them, and anybody here who's going to play against them. It's going to be a tough game because they play it very well.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Just one final word. Obviously, you're very well placed in the league at the moment. So how are you going to affect that this doesn't affect the confidence going forward?
It won't affect the confidence. We've just got to get players back fit. I mean, it's as simple as that. We've got in excess of 10 players injured, so I'm not so much worried about the result as going forward. If we can get those people back and get them fit, and obviously get a little bit of balance to the side, because we just didn't have that today. So as I say, we're hopefully we've got 3 people who've had operations who should be back within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully they'll come back, and we'll have a little bit more to pick from.
Yeah, you never know. Steve, thanks for joining us on Robins TV. All right, good luck. All right, good luck for the season. Robins TV here in a jubilant clubhouse after Carshalton win 4-1 in the FA Trophy to get through to the 3rd round. I've been joined by assistant manager Keith. Keith, decent afternoon's work, but it didn't start that way though, did it?
No, I mean, I obviously sit up in the stand in the first half most games, and when that one went in, there were a few words spoken amongst the fans sitting around me, and I just ignored those. I think the first 4 minutes you're thinking, oh my God, I think that's probably the worst goal we've conceded all season in the way it was conceded, because we had opportunities to clear it, obviously. Yeah. But what a way to answer it! What a way to show character and come back the way we did.
Was it just a case of sort of showing like calm heads out there? Peter wasn't on the pitch, but some of the younger players stepped forward and took the game by the mantle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we looked at the squad earlier in the week on whether Pete should play or not, and honestly, it was a toss of a coin between him and Paris, who started today because of Paris coming back from the injury. And Pete made the decision himself. Let's go with Paris, because we wanted Tommy to be in the centre. Okay. We've been playing Tommy out in wide areas, but we felt Tommy's a better deal for us in the middle. Ola's obviously in there with the strength. We knew Dix was ready to go, and we wanted that speed and endeavour on the wide areas with Mendy and Christie. We felt that we could cause some problems there.
Michael Dixon came in and led the line very well today. Can we just have a word about him, because he's put in some good performances, but he hasn't started every week?
No, you know yourself, he's had niggly injuries, and it's his first full season back, but we feel he justified man of the match today. By far the best performance he's put in since playing for us. The work rate was absolutely fantastic, exactly what we want, especially when we're playing the way we were playing, a little bit more direct. You need somebody who's going to put themselves about. But he was chasing everything down, and he makes the job of the players behind him easier when he does that.
Yeah. But has your path ever crossed with Steve Claridge before? Because obviously he's a Premiership footballer. He's gone through the nearly 800 appearances, over 250 goals. Have you come cross paths with him before?
Not as a player and coach, more on his commentary roles, because he did a lot of commentaries. When I was working in the women's game, FA Cup final at West Ham, he was one of the commentators there. He won't remember it, but we had a good chat before the games. He wanted information, and he's done a few commentaries at that level where we've spoken.
He was asking where Keith was earlier, but I said that he's not about.
Right, of course he was.
Nice one, Keith. Thanks for joining us as always, mate. Cheers. Thank you. Robins TV, I've been joined by Calvin Morath-Gibbs, who played a part in the 4-1 victory over Salisbury in the FA Trophy second round today. Calvin, what was the mood in the dressing room like after that one?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, we had quite a poor start, really bad goal to concede, but I think we dealt with it, came back, got our game back, and in the end it was quite comfortable, so it was a good result.
Yeah, obviously that wouldn't have been part of the script to go behind so early, and even speaking to the boss after the game as well, he said that it was kind of our own downfall, that one.
Yeah, but I think a good thing happened early. You can get it out of the way, you've got time to recover, and that's what we did, so it weren't too bad.
And what kind of changed it in your eyes? Because we got back on level terms around the 20-minute mark. Was it just a case of kind of our strength and power showing through? Or?
Yeah, it felt like that. I think we saw what they had to offer. We kind of dealt with it, nullified it, and then we got our game going. Got a bit more physical, more intense, and I think that showed in the end.
And the third round draw will be made on Monday lunchtime. Will you be tuning into the radio?
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll probably be one of the lowest ranked teams, so it'll be a tough game whoever we get. If we're at home, to be honest, the way we're playing, we'd fancy winning, or even a nice away tie. So we're looking forward to it.
Fancy going all the way up to Salford and playing Gary Neville and all that lot? Or?
Why not? Why not? We'll give it our best shot if we did. So.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, mate, as always, and congratulations. Robins TV still here in the clubhouse after the 4-1 win over Salisbury today that saw Carshalton catapult into the third round of the FA Trophy. I've been joined by Christian and John. John, I'll come to you first, mate. That was a good afternoon's work in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, we made very light work of it after the first 10 minutes. We sussed them out first 10 minutes, didn't quite get going. After that, they were going long. We dealt with everything on the plate.
Yeah, although, to be fair, after 4 minutes, it was looking a bit dicey, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, after 4 minutes, but as soon as we sussed them out, you know, they were going long. We shut down their keeper so he couldn't play out from the back, and it just kept coming back at them.
What was the turning point for you, Christian? Because to concede after 4 minutes was obviously quite dire, but then we came back into it after about 15 minutes.
Well, when we did concede, I thought the reaction afterwards was pretty good. So on the cards, I was kind of thinking we're at least going to equalise in this one because the link-up play at the front was starting to work and it was starting to bear fruit. So when Tommy scored his equaliser, I thought, you know, I think we can do this one. But I never expected to be ahead at half-time, to be fair. So that exceeded my expectations. So it was good. It was just to go, and I think we dominated the second half pretty much. And we had the best of the play, really. They came back into it when we were already 4-1 up and sort of had a few chances towards the end where Patrick made some couple of great saves. Yeah. But it was never really in doubt after we were 3-1 up, to be fair.
John, do you have a preference for the next round draw? Do you want to be back here again or do you want to get a long away trip somewhere? What do you think?
I'd like to be back here. On our day, we can beat anyone. I would have liked someone like Leyton Orient down here. Bit of a crowd.
We're playing better on our home turf than we are in the away game, so...
they train out there as well, so maybe they should go over to the park over the other side like once in a while and just have a little kick about on the grass.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously the surface on the other side is pretty awful as well, so when they do go to away games, even if they are on grass, it will appear better than what they train on. It might be actually a brilliant idea there, JBS.
Well, there you go. That was mine, so I'll take that one. But gents, thanks for joining us as always, and let's go on to the third round. Lovely.